Navigating the legal system, yeah, it can feel absolutely overwhelming, right? Especially when you're dealing with something as personal and, let's be honest, emotionally taxing as a divorce. But today, we're going to clear that fog. In this explainer, we're taking the notoriously complex Texas divorce process and breaking it down into a super easy-to-follow, completely jargon-free chronological journey. So whether you're just dipping your toes in for information or you're gearing up for your own legal steps, this guide is here to empower you with pure, structured clarity. Okay, let's dive right into this. Here is our complete roadmap. We're going to cover 1. Shuruati niyam or requirements, 2. Divorce file Kernika steps, 3. The waiting period or settlements, 4. The court hearing or final decree, 5. Uncontested versus contested divorce, and finally, 6. Processing time or documents. You'll know exactly what to expect from start to finish.
All right, Section 1, Shuruati niyam or requirements.
So, before any paperwork even gets filled out, there's a very first hurdle you absolutely have to pass. Texas law is pretty strict about who can actually file for divorce in the state. Step 1, the state residency requirement. At least one spouse must have lived in Texas for a minimum of the past 6 months. But it gets a little more granular than that. Step 2 means you also need to have lived in the specific county where you plan to file for the preceding 90 days. So you've got to check off these strict prerequisites before you can even begin the legal process.
Moving right along to Section 2, Divorce File Carnegie Steps.
Okay, assuming you meet those residency rules we just talked about, the legal journey officially starts here. Let's walk through this initial paperwork together. Step 1. You've got to file what's called the original petition for divorce right at your county district clerk's office. Basically, this is the document that tells the court, hey, I want to dissolve this marriage. After filing, Step 2 is paying the required filing fees. And then we hit Step 3, which is absolutely critical. You must officially notify your spouse. You do this by having the divorce papers formally served to them. Now, quick pro tip. If your spouse is on the exact same page and totally agrees to the process, they can just sign a waiver of service. This acknowledges they've received the petition and honestly makes this step vastly easier.
Now, let's talk money, because you definitely want to know what financial expectation to have right up front. The typical filing fee ranges between $250 to $350. Keep in mind, this specific amount can vary slightly depending on your exact county, but having this ballpark range in mind really helps you budget for day one of the process.
Which brings us to Section 3, the waiting period or settlements.
So once your petition is filed and the fees are paid, the legal system automatically hits the brakes. Texas law requires an absolute minimum 60-day waiting period from the day you file before any divorce can be finalized. It's basically a mandatory cooling-off period. The clock starts ticking the literal moment the petition is stamped at the clerk's office. And aside from some very, very specific special cases, the court simply won't finalize your divorce before this 2-month window has completely closed. But hey, you aren't just sitting on your hands for those 60 days. Actually, this waiting period is the absolute ideal time to cooperate and settle the crucial human elements of your separation. If it applies to you, this is exactly when you and your spouse should be hashing out the division of your property and any debts you might have. And more importantly, if you have kids, this is the time to agree on child support amounts and nail down clear visitation schedules. Because if both of you can agree on these issues right now, the whole rest of the process becomes so much smoother. Now, what's really interesting about this next part is how Texas handles legal vocabulary. If you're researching child custody in Texas, you actually won't often see the word custody in the official documents. No way. Instead, Texas uses the term conservatorship. It means exactly the same thing, who has the legal rights and duties to care for the child, but knowing this specific piece of local jargon is going to save you a ton of confusion when you're staring at your paperwork.
All right, Section 4, court hearing or final decree.
This is it. This is where all those agreements you just made get formalized into binding law. Step 1 is taking all the terms regarding your property, debts, and children and writing them comprehensively into the final decree of divorce. If both parties agree, you both sign this document. Then, Step 2 is attending a court hearing where the judge will review your documents. And I really want to assure you here, for simple cases where both parties agree, this hearing is surprisingly short. We're talking just a few brief minutes. Finally, Step 3, the judge signs the final decree. And the second that signature hits the paper, your divorce is officially complete. Let's shift gears to Section 5, Uncontested versus Contested Divorce. So up until now, we've mostly described a pretty smooth journey, but the path drastically diverges based on how well you and your spouse cooperate. On one side, you have the uncontested divorce. This is where both spouses agree on all the terms. The whole narrative here is one of cooperation, and that results in a process that is significantly faster and, frankly, far less expensive. On the flip side is the contested divorce. When there are disagreements over how to divide the property, who gets conservatorship of the kids, or how support is handled, well, you enter a much more difficult path. A contested divorce inevitably leads to much higher legal costs and requires a lot more time and paperwork to finally resolve.
Finally, Section 6, processing time are documents.
To ensure we wrap up smoothly, you really got to have your paperwork in order. Here are the essential required documents to keep you organized. You've got the original petition for divorce to start things off, the civil case information sheet depending on your specific county's requirements, that waiver of service we talked about earlier if your spouse is cooperating, the final decree of divorce to wrap it all up, and of course, any specific child-related forms if you have kids. Seriously, getting these organized early is your absolute best strategy.
Let's map out the realistic timeframes, tying it all perfectly back to whether you're on the uncontested or contested path. 60 days is the absolute minimum waiting period no matter what. But practically speaking, a typical uncontested divorce where everyone agrees usually takes between 2 to 4 months from start to finish. However, if your divorce is contested, you really need to be prepared for it to take several months, stretching up to a year or even more. Ultimately, your level of cooperation directly dictates the length of your timeline.
Before we wrap this explainer up, I do want to end on a cautious and deeply empathetic note. The information we've covered today serves as a really strong general guide to help you understand the framework of the process. But we all know every life is different. If your situation involves complex issues like children, large assets, messy property disputes, or absolutely any history of domestic violence, relying solely on a general overview just isn't enough. In those complex cases, seeking advice from a qualified Texas family law attorney isn't just helpful, it is absolutely vital to protecting yourself and your future. Well, we've covered the rules, the filings, the jargon, and the timelines. You now have a clear, structured view of the road ahead. So I'll leave you with this thought to consider. Now that you understand the timeline and the paperwork, are you prepared to take the right first step in your legal journey? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I wish you clarity and strength on the path ahead.